Hey guys, Scott here from Alpha Nerd Tech. How's it going? So we got everything in to finish our project. So we're going to be putting the Mac Mini inside the Jonsbo case right here. Got it all set up right there. The Mac Mini is here, and we're going to go ahead and get all that put inside. I have some ideas without cutting the top, without changing too much. I have a feeling, kind of looking at things, it might fit pretty well inside there. Just putting the motherboard inside the case itself. So yeah, um, just gonna make this thing happen. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna try not to make it too janky. Make it look pretty as good as we can, and make it perform. And throw some extra hard drives in there. Got a couple extra hard drives. Got some hard drive bays. We're gonna throw the little minis in because I'm gonna keep this all SSD, and we're gonna run with it. So let's get it on the desk and get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to the desktop. And so today the goal is, you remember where we left off last time. So this was our test, make sure everything worked. It did. I was extremely surprised everything worked. And today's goal is to take everything out of here and possibly everything out of here. I'm going to take this apart anyway and replace my SSD inside here with my 128 operating system drive. So I'm going to take this apart anyway. And then we're going to see how this fits inside the new case. So this is what we're going to be working with over here. As you can see, we got the Jonsbo, we got a couple drive bays here. These will, because I'm going to do this all in 2.5 SSDs. So we got the drive bays, got the power supply, and yeah, we're going to try to get this thing all working inside of this case. Possibly the Mac Mini motherboard. We can rig it up to fit inside of this case without trying to butcher the case too much. But if not, I'll pop it out the top and make it look all cool. So anyway, let's get back up to the desktop and start tearing apart the Mac Mini. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is unplug everything here. And unfortunately, I did double stick tape the SATA device, the NVMe to SATA adapter. I'm going to have to unstick that. I do have some more double stick tape, and I do have another. I actually have one of these I'm going to replace with a 6-port. And that'll be another test to see how well that works. But let's go ahead and get this off the desk and out of the way. A little bit of noise here while I adjust the microphone. And we got to pop this guy out of there. So double stick tape. I hate it. It's actually coming up pretty good. We're losing the layer, but that's all right. And a nice satisfying pop. We didn't bend anything, hurt anything. I'm going to replace this board here with a 6-port just to try it out also. We'll set that aside. Now we have to pull off the fan to get this thing apart. It's been a while since I took this apart. Literally got it brand new. Took it apart, put the 1 terabyte in it, and put it back together. So, smaller than that one. There we go. And I'll speed this video up just to so you guys don't have to sit here painstakingly watch me do all this little stuff. All right, so here's the Jonsbo case, and I know it's a little tight in here, but that's all right. We'll just make it work for now. And let's go ahead and get our Phillips screwdriver and pop this back off here. My top-down camera is not the best location right now, but that's all right. It will work for now. All right, so we got those set aside. Let's go ahead and pull this back. And I got to fix something on my mixer because I see that it's messed up again. Yeah, I hate that automatic denoise thing. It kind of messes up my sound every time I forget to turn it off. All right, so let's pop this out of here. So for the Mac Mini, we've got plenty of room inside of here. I don't know exactly how I want to do this yet or what I'm going to do. But yeah, there's a lot of room in here for the Mac Mini. If we just took this motherboard alone and set it up in here, I mean, this would fit in here no problem. All the ports hang out the back, no problem. Power plug, everything. I mean, it's like I could 3D print something, but if you look at the back here, besides the fact that it's a little crooked, but yeah, it would fit right in here. Power supply, everything for the Mac Mini. And that may be the way we go. That way I don't have to cut the top of the case if I ever want to upgrade or put in a different motherboard and CPU later. But yeah, that looks like it's going to go real nice. I may just leave it like that. Power button on the corner is a little bit hidden, but I can probably solder in the front case power button anyway to make this thing turn on. So yeah, I think this is going to be the solution for now. And then as far as standing it off on the inside, I can double up a few of these inserts here, or I can make something, no problem. And then where our card would be with our SATA ports in it, plenty of room here because that comes off here. The hard drive goes in here. Yeah, that this looks like it would work and work nice. Yeah, let me see what I can do here, and I'll get back to you once I have a nice solution of what the plan is here, because this looks amazing. All right, we'll be back. So as you can see, I went ahead and got everything back together here out of the case, and I even took the little pads that were stuck on that hold the fan and the motherboard screws, and then the cable or the hard drive tray. So I got all that assembled on the board, and then we're going to go ahead and see how I have to raise this up, how much I have to raise this up to get this to sit flush inside here. So it'll stick out just a little bit like that, and it's not much, I'm telling you. I gotta bring this up, the back end of this up just slightly to be level, and then we'll have this nice little sticking out piece here. And again, I can 3D print something that'll go right in here, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. So let me figure out what I got to do to raise this guy up, and we'll be back. All right, so here we go, guys. So after a quick run to Home Depot and a quick had to pick up the kid from school, and he's all settled in, got his snack, and now got the brackets in. So this is what I made right here. I just made them go into the back of the hard drive. They're going to bolt in. The only modification I had to make so far to the case that is irreversible is I drilled 2 holes here that these brackets will bolt into. On the bottom of the Mac Mini, I kind of splooged some, don't laugh, but hot glue to build up the pads a little bit, just to give me a little bit of a resting pad, and to set so it sets level. And then this will set in there just like that. And my holes will line up right there. And I'll use some nut and bolts to put that in, and that'll hold this up nice and tight against here. And everything will fit just right. It's hard to see, but everything will fit in there just right. Power, everything. And then again, I'll 3D print something for the top. But yeah, I know it's kind of janky, and I don't care. It looks kind of cool to me, and I didn't have to modify the case too much. And we'll get some hard drives and get it wired up here, and yeah, we'll try it out. Alright, so what we got here is the power button off of the Jonsbo case. And I have separated these and identified the power button, the first two, hard drive LED are the second two, and the power LED are the last two. And what I'm going to do is get some more light over here. I'm going to solder this to the Apple Mac Mini power switch. So, be a little tight. I don't have shrink tube the right size. Unfortunately, I was just at Lowe's, Home Depot, I mean. And unfortunately, I don't have the right size. So I'm going to just twist these together and tape them for now. But I'm going to solder them just to be safe. And of course I didn't heat up my soldering tip, so that's going to be a minute. But anyway, yeah, so that's what that's going to be. And I'll just use some good old electrical tape for now. I thought I had some smaller shrink tube. I do not. I'll throw a small piece of tape on there for now, and then maybe take a piece of this over the whole thing once it's taped, just to kind of hold it all together. It's plenty long enough. Lots of room in there. This plug here, I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. So this just plugs right into the Mac Mini motherboard. I did cut everything plenty long enough to where I can put it all back if I had to. So yeah, I left enough on here to solder onto if I need to for the front panel. And the LEDs, I'm going to work on that here shortly, or at least the power LED. I need to look at where it's at in the Mac and where the plug is for it. And then, yeah, we'll get everything going. Just let me get these soldered up. And we'll check out that motherboard for the LED. Alright, like I said, there will be a little bit of jankiness in here, and there's the first part right there. Well, second part. But it's on there. It's going to stay. It'll hold it for now until I can get the right size shrink tube. And we will have a power button. So now I will go through and figure out the LED part of it. Alright, so this is what we ended up with. I've got the 6-port SATA hub in here now. Power supply, machine, everything's in there solid. Got a bolt back here. I still have this one tie wrapped until I can get in between the drive bays, but that's okay. I'll get to that later. On the back panel, we look like this. I got the power supply in. A little bit of jankiness going on here with the electrical tape as the covering the hole back there, but power supply's in. I did do the jumper trick because it's not plugged into a motherboard. It's an ATX style pinout. I did the jumper trick to make it to where it turns on and stays on. Fans up, in and hooked up. As far as the front cover goes, it's all the same. And I've got 6 drives in here, plus the one on the Mac Mini as the operating system drive. So it does bolt in, bolt out, not a problem. So I can take it out if something happens and replace that drive, no problem. These 2 do not work. I will get those working later or replace them. I'm not sure yet. Or just connect them to the back. But I have everything open on the back, so I'm not really worried about it. Mac Mini doesn't have a USB-C anyway. Power button and the LED does work, so I'll power this thing up here in just a second. So there you have it. Finished project. Inside looks pretty good to me. If you want to count this on a level of jankiness, you know, I did little shortcuts here because I didn't have the right size shrink tube. I got a tie wrap here that's temporary. I did drill the hole there. I can't get into the bottom of it right now, but I'll get it later. Got the screw in here. So, I mean, scale of jankiness, I would say a number 5 out of 10. I've done worse. I've done far better. So, anyway, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it a 1 out of 10? It is a Mac Mini. It is an i7. When we get this thing powered up here in a minute, you'll see it is extremely quiet. All the hard drives are in and set up already. So anyway, let me just get it powered up here in just a minute, and I'll be right back. All right, so we got it on. Got the Jonsbo on anyway, and the Jonsbo itself pulling about 3.8 watts. I'll get a shot of that also just to have it. Alright, so that's just the Jonsbo plugged in, and that fan in the Jonsbo is pretty loud. That's the big fan. With that unplugged, the thing was silent. I don't have the front cover on yet, but we can throw that on there. And I believe this just went in here like this with some magnets. There we go. So there's the Jonsbo front cover on. The LED was working. Oh no, so the LED will work when I turn on, there we go. So when I turn on the Mac, then the LED will work. So yeah, there we go. The LED does work. And we'll let this boot up real quick, and then I'll get back into Zima and we'll take a look at it. Let me open up Chrome. And we'll go back into the Zima. Let's reload that. Oh, hold on. I do need a network cable plugged in. Alright, network cable's plugged in. Let's see if it gives us the same IP address. There we go. Now we can log into Zima. And I will approve that on the watch. And there we go. So there we have our 6.7 terabytes still. Right now, I'll throw a picture up in the corner, but it is pulling 13.7 watts. And it's pretty much idling right now. So yeah, 13.7 watts at an idle. That's the entire system. That's not just the one or the other. I have them both going into a voltmeter. And you can see there in the corner. There we go. Bounces between 13 and 15 with nothing running, just sitting here at an idle. And then let's go ahead and start that VM that I put in. And it did peak up to about 31 watts. And again, you'll see it here in just a second. And all right, we will boot into Ubuntu here. There we go. Pulling about 14 watts right now. And yeah, so I mean, it's working. It's not going to be a speed demon when it comes to running VMs or anything, and that's not what I built this thing for. It is more for just a backup server, something to use to back up some files, some of my main files on my other machine. So yeah, we're not going to really get into this, but anyway, yeah. So there we go. Everything's working. I can power out of here, log off or shut down, power off. We'll go ahead and power it off. You can also do it here with the force power off, but I'll just let it shut itself down. And if we go back to the Zima home screen, I did put in a 2.5 gig USB adapter, so there we go. So yeah, we're getting 2.3, 2.4, typical 2.5 gig speeds to and from, 2 at least. And then yeah, so we can transfer pretty quick into that thing. Again, that's the 2.5. I don't have a 10 gig that I could throw on it for USB. And I think the max USB is going to transfer anyway is 5. But hey, 2.5 is not bad. Better than a typical gigabit NIC. So yeah, there we go. So anyway, this thing's working great. And everything seems to be working. And I got all my drives. So there we go. There's the Mac Mini. 2014 Mac Mini NAS system. Built into a really nice looking wood front Jonsbo case. And everything's working. Y'all have a great evening, and I will see you in the next one.